Hi, I'd like to invite you to an event on the Shakespeare authorship question that I'm hosting at Tulane University on Wednesday, November 8th at 7 p.m. Central Time. The event is available as a free Zoom webinar. What do we know about the author of Shakespeare's works? Journalist and literary critic Elizabeth Winkler leads an international panel of academics in a discussion of this controversial topic. Her new book, Shakespeare Was a Woman and Other Heresies, How Doubting the Bard Became the Biggest Taboo in Literature, is an extraordinarily brilliant and pleasurably naughty investigation into the Shakespeare authorship question, exploring how doubting that William Shakespeare wrote his plays became an act of blasphemy, and who the bard might really be. It is the first in-depth investigation into academia's reaction to research questioning William Stratford's authorship of Shakespeare's works. The Guardian calls her book a fascinating detective story, whose irreverence is part of its appeal. Elizabeth Winkler has a bachelor's degree in English from Princeton and a Master of Arts degree in English from Stanford University. She's a journalist and book critic based in Washington, D.C. Her writing has appeared in the Wall Street Journal, the New Republic, The Economist, the Times Literary Supplement, and the New Yorker, among other publications. She was inspired to write her book in the aftermath of her 2019 article, Was Shakespeare a Woman?, published in The Atlantic and anthologized in Best American Essays 2020. In it, Winkler discussed the widely circulated theory that the Renaissance poet Emilia Bassano might have had a hand at writing Shakespeare's plays. Winkler suggested this theory could explain Shakespeare's facility in writing feminist drama, although she made no definitive claim about Bassano's authorship herself. Even so, several leading male Shakespeare scholars censored Winkler as deranged, neurotic, and a conspiracy theorist. Her puzzlement over the emotionally charged and personal nature of these attacks led her to wonder why experts were claiming moral authority to shut down a literary historical question. They, quote, might as well have planted signs that said, dig here, she writes. By digging into the issue, Winkler braves further taunts of irrational, anti-Shakespearean, and Holocaust denier to bring readers into the parlors of the biggest names in Shakespeare studies. She also interviews thinkers who dispute the conventional authorship view. Peer-reviewed research on the authorship question is conducted in fields as diverse as history, psychology, literary criticism, library science, and law. It is unprecedented for a field of academic study to be challenged by research conducted outside that area's purview. Panelists are Dr. John Ray Proctor, who is an assistant professor of theater at Tulane. He has an MFA in acting from West Virginia University and a PhD in theater research with a primary focus on Shakespeare studies from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Dr. Scott Oldenburg is Associate Professor of English at Tulane. He has his PhD in English Language and Literature from the University of Buffalo. He specializes in 16th and 17th century British literary and cultural studies. Dr. Roz Barber is an English novelist and poet with a Master of Arts in Creative Writing and a doctorate in English Literature from the University of Sussex. She lectures in the Department of English and Comparative Literature at Goldsmiths, University of London. Dr. Earl Showerman graduated from Harvard College and the University of Michigan Medical School. Dr. Showerman has published and presented numerous papers on the topic of Shakespeare's Greek dramatic sources and knowledge of medicine. He's president of the Shakespeare Oxford Fellowship. I hope you'll join me for this fantastic event. See you there.